the first game we look for, Robbie? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Tottenham away Monday night. Best place to be in town. If you're a Spurs fan, as always, smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff each and every time. Thanks for being here as always, guys. Hope you're good, whichever part of the world you're tuning in from. We will be discussing Southampton and the upcoming Man United Cup game. And is Ange or Nuno the better manager? We will discuss it all. Let's quickly say hello to everyone, though. Smash a like for the channel, guys. Put your comments up during the show. We'll go for as many as we can. If you want us to answer any questions, put your super chats in. JP, how you doing, bro? You good?
I don't care about Levy. Don't care about me.
Have we started already? Have we started?
It's like, at least I was kind of like more chuffed the fact that there was so much singing there, and like I pretty had that song virtually all the way through, and Levy out chants and stuff like that, even at 5-0 up, you know. Long gone are the days when I guess if we'd have gone 2-0 up, that would have probably died down and some people would have stopped singing and stuff. But it was nice to see that momentum's there, to be honest. So yeah, all good.
Let's see.
And
if
the
those
fact that it was
songs
Sunday didn't ruin my early weekend.
Let's see if those songs are being sung. Should we beat Man United and Liverpool? Right, anything's possible. Let's see if those songs exist after those games. Iggy, how you doing? You all right?
Big up, guys. Big up, everyone. How are you? Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. Monday, start of a new week, start of a new Tottenham era. We've turned a corner. My Tottenham is back and all that blah, blah, blah.
I sense the irony. I sense the irony already.
No, we've got our Tottenham back. We have got our Tottenham back.
We got our Tottenham back.
They're back. We're back.
Man United and Liverpool, and then we'll see if we're back.
Listen, we could beat them two, then we'll go and lose to Forest, Wolves, and whoever's after that. Don't worry about it. We'll find the one. Ian, how you doing? Have you recovered after your travelling around the country, up to Scotland, down to Southampton, back in London? You've been everywhere.
Well, I must say this still. I'm on the Tottenham away show, but it's been a pretty good 4 days, hasn't it? We've got a point at Rangers. That means 2 wins gets us in the top 8. And we've gone to Southampton and won 5-0. So Tottenham away's been pretty good last 4 days. Iggy,
we
should be clapping, mate. We should be clapping.
He can't hear you, mate. He
We're on
can't
the
hear
way.
you. He ain't got his headphones on.
He hasn't got his headphones on.
It's true. All the happy clappers. All the happy clappers.
Yeah.
Clapping.
The kids are playing. Things are looking up.
Ian's a happy bunny. Lee, are you happy? Are you feeling the energy?
What can you say? Absolute masterclass. Saw Messi in the midfield.
Messi.
Prime James Figo. I don't know what else to say. It's can't get much better than that for a Sunday night.
I totally agree. Billy, the troll is back. Quick question: if Levy goes, who comes in? Just because I want the owners out doesn't mean I need to know who I want in. If I want out of a divorce, it doesn't mean I know who I want to marry next. I'm sure you've got the common sense to understand that. But then again, you're a troll. So God knows. Big up to everyone in the chat. Beat Southampton for me. I couldn't care less. I've said it time and time again. Win, lose or draw, I don't care. Unless we can go 5 games in the Premier League unbeaten, nothing's changed. Ange out. Levy out every single day of the week for me. Ange is a clown. Levy's a clown. Lange is a clown. But we'll discuss, guys. We'll discuss it all. Everyone's got their views and opinions. Should we briefly talk about the Southampton game before we get into the rest of the things I wanted to bring up tonight? Because look, some people thought we'd lose, some people thought we'd win, some people thought they didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. I thought we might win because I've watched Southampton this season and playing out from the back, they're worse than us. They're like basically Southampton is Ange ball on steroids. They're insane. Like they're lunatics with it. So I kind of thought if they do that and we press, we can get into them. But with Gray and Dragusin at the back, you never know what might go wrong. But we got the early goals and it was all over after 15 minutes. And from there on in, it was just easy peasy. Southampton finished. Manager got sacked after the game. Players pretty much looked shot. Fans walked out up 4-0. It was if you're a Southampton fan, it was an absolute shit show. Why'd you even bother going? If you're a Spurs fan, you're glad to get back to winning ways, 3 points. Ian, you've got your notifications on again.
Yeah, no, I've turned it off now.
Okay. Because you know when it pings, it's so loud in your ear.
Echo.
It's like a dog whistle if you're a dog. Not that I've been a dog to know what it's like, but
There you go.
But yeah,
And the Gooners dropped 2 points again, didn't they? So
listen,
dropped
Arsenal dropping points, which is always good to see. For all the Arsenal fans that normally tune into the channel, saw Arteta posing for his new kit launch. But yeah, guys, look, what did you make of Southampton? On the positive, we won. On the negative, I'm pissed off that with 30 minutes to go, he didn't bring on Lancashire, maybe change the goalie, bring on Dorrington, maybe bring on one of the wing backs. If ever there was an opportunity to bring on more kids and just let them play, I think it would have been the perfect time. I do know that it's the first time that 4 teenagers have ever played in a Premier League game at the same time. But let's have it right. One teenager came on with 8 minutes to go and the other one came on with 12 minutes to go. So it's a little bit overhyped. But look, we won fair and square. We were the better team. Southampton are finished. They're going to get relegated. I would have liked to see more youngsters have more minutes to truly, give them a run out and stuff. But
Yeah.
What did you guys make of it all?
Did a job, didn't we? Pretty much. Did a job. Went there 5 up at half time. They played 5 games in 15 days. It didn't bother me that they took their foot off the pedal second half. They got some big games coming up. They didn't need to go crashing around for 45 minutes trying to ram up the goal difference by 2 or 3, maybe get some injuries, knacking themselves out. They did the right thing. It was proper game management for once. So, no.
Was it game management or was it Southampton that bad? Because they looked horrific to me, Southampton. They look really, really shit. Like, in fact, I think they're the worst team we've played this season in all competitions.
Probably.
Absolutely.
I think I would say because the way you explained it, and that's how I felt going into that game, you kind of almost didn't know which Spurs would turn up, right? Because that's kind of who we are and who we've been in the last few games. So it was, and to be honest, I watched Southampton play Liverpool, and outside of their keeper making stupid mistakes, I thought Southampton played really well and were unlucky in that game. And that's the only game I've seen them play. So I'd say I was probably cautious, kind of like going into that game. But I think we hit them early, obviously. Big up to Jed Spence because he seemed to take his time. It was nice that he was on the pitch, but he actually kind of made that almost wriggling through by himself and playing Maddison in. We took that first goal really early. They looked shocked. I mean, 30 seconds into a game, bang, like we're 1-0 up. And then we hit them again really early. And then after that, they obviously just capitulated, right? But at least we kept our foot on the pedal a little bit and got that third and got the fourth. Because I think in games kind of like gone by, we'd have probably gone 2-0 up and then probably sat back a little bit and had a rest and lost the momentum and stuff like that. So it was good that they kicked on. I was probably disappointed with the second half, and just in the same way as you are. I honestly thought that even Solanke he would have taken him off and put on Lancashire just to give him time and to give Solanke a rest. Again, Kulusevski played virtually the whole game, didn't he? I don't know if he got subbed. I can't remember now.
JP, do you think he kept on Solanke for him to try and get a goal? Because to play the worst team in the Premier League and not score a goal is...
At half-time being 5-0 up, he would have been pissed not to get a goal. And I did say to my son, do you know what? As soon as he scores, he'll take him off. But if we know that we're probably going to bring on some more kids, take our foot off the gas, rest a little bit, there's kind of no point keeping him on, right? At the end of the day, you want him in shape for Thursday. What's the point of him getting a goal, like a little bit of a boost for himself? Does that help? I'd rather him taking off and let Lancashire run around and put some energy into it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was just trying to play devil's advocate. I would have pulled Solanke after 30 minutes. I thought he was rubbish, but that's my opinion. I'm not allowed to say bad
But
things
even
about
with some of the
Solanke.
subs, like Brendan Johnson, like you go, we're 5-0 up. What is really the point of bringing him on? Timo Werner, you slagged him off last game. What is this, like a confidence booster or something? You might as well let a kid show what he can do. If Werner's not putting it in.
I think the one for me was bringing Porro on when we're 4-0 up. You should have put Mason King on at left back and replaced Udogie. Give the kid a run out. You know, he's highly rated. He's there. He's on the bench. Stick him on. You know, what better time to give someone a debut than 4-0 up and totally in control?
I think one of the things I would say would be that he was probably a little bit scared inside, thinking if they happen to score one and then nick a second one, then suddenly it's panic stations, right? Because you know what we're like. I guess that was in the back of his mind, but surely with 20-25 minutes to go, you go, okay, well, let them go, let the kids loose, kind of thing, you know.
Well, since Maz ain't here, I might as well be the ugly sister this week, and I. So, listen, I thought it's a win that we needed, right? Over the last couple of weeks, the ups and downs and stuff like that, it's definitely a win that we needed. And it's fantastic that we've beaten 5-0. But let's be fair, they were absolutely awful. We could have put the under 18s on there and they still wouldn't have won that game. That was so bad. There's a couple of things that was... Obviously, the second half was really poor. It was boring as hell. I think I started biting my nails at one point, which is unlike me. I was so bored, didn't know what to do. Which is strange. We all started moaning about that, but then we're so used to going at full throttle all the time that when he does actually stop and everyone sits back and we just soak up the pressure, it's really hard to take. So yeah, it was boring, but I understand why he did it. Couple of things though. I don't even remember Solanke was playing, to be honest with you. The guy did absolutely nothing all night. Literally, I don't remember him doing anything. So he could have taken his, taken this as an opportunity to get a few goals or anything, but I don't remember him doing absolutely jack all, to be quite honest with you. It's quite clear to me, I know everyone's got their opinion on this youth, but it's quite clear to me now that my opinion is that there is certainly a hierarchy in the Tottenham ranks, and he's keeping to that hierarchy in the sense that if you're getting paid 165 grand a week, you're getting on before any one of the kids, no matter what. You're quite right. The young kid could have come on at left back, and not mucked around too much and moving people around, but he chose not to. At 5-0 up. So, again, I don't get it. Lancashire should have come on earlier. What's the point of him coming on with 8 minutes to go when all we're doing is sitting back, soaking up the pressure? He's not going to do anything, is he? So, I think he could have done more in that second half to give those guys a bit more of a run out. But it is what it is, and he's got to think about Thursday. And listen, I'm my feet are firmly on the ground. I'm not happy clapping about beating Southampton 5-0 because they were that bad. They really were that bad. I am... But it does make me laugh, though, that every single video that I've watched this morning bigging this up as an Ange masterclass. Okay, Ange masterclass, but not one of them or anyone ever mentions how bad Southampton were. They all say it was just us. We were just too good. No, they were shit. They were absolute dog shit. And we should have probably beaten them more. But we can only do 5 in 45 minutes, so it's great. But we needed this win, so I'm glad we got it, and I'm glad we made a statement. But we needed this win.
What gets me is we don't have injury crisis against Palace and Ipswich, and we lose. That we forget that. We lose to Bournemouth. We just about get a draw against Rangers. Can't beat Fulham. Injury crisis. We have the worst injury situation of the season because Benton Basuma is suspended as well now. We go away to Southampton, beat them 5-0. Why isn't anyone talking about the injury crisis? It's almost like if we win,
they were that bad.
If we lose, injury crisis. When we've got injuries or not,
excuses, isn't it?
Is that not the same? Is that not the same? If you're watching a match and the referee's given some diabolical decisions against you, if you lose, you come out and you're spitting feathers. If you win, no one says anything. It's the same thing.
No, it's not, because when we lose, we don't blame the referee unless there was a really bad VAR decision. But we've had injuries for wins and losses, but we only mention it when we lose. It's only a problem if we lose. We beat we went to Man City with both of our centre halves missing, no Bentancur, no Richarlison, no Odegaard. We beat them 4-0. No one mentions injuries. But if we lose, but it's because of the injuries. But with the same injuries, you beat Man City. With the same injuries, you beat Southampton.
But there's no excuse either way, because you've got a squad of 25 players. So,
Ian, that's my point. Excuses. Yeah. It's just an excuse. We make excuses, and it's the Ange sexuals that are doing it. It's these Ange lovers. They are lunatics. Do you know what? I don't even think we're Tottenham Hotspur anymore. We literally are Kangaroo FC. It's a cult. This cult movement has taken over the club. This Crocodile Dundee. Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. This guy could lose 5 in a row, and we'd be like, no, you've got to keep him. No, you just stick with him. The tactics will come good. I don't know.
I'll add one other thing before I let Iggy off, because Iggy looks like he's going to explode.
No.
Iggy's ready to clap.
Not at all.
This whole hierarchy thing at Tottenham as well. I think I'll get backed up more on this as well by watching Dorrington come in last night, right? Now, he, to me, his stature looks like a central defender. And he looks, I don't understand why we've not been playing him. Well, I do now. I understand why we've not been playing him and playing Archie Gray, because Archie Gray's the one that cost 40 million, right? But I think if you put them two side by side as central defenders and actually give them a good run out, I think Dorrington would be the more comfortable person in that position, even though they're both young. But we didn't pay 40 million for him, did we? And
Lee, nothing to do with 40 million. Dorrington got a really bad injury back end of last season. And it took him months to get over it. And he
hasn't got the injury now, has he? The last 3 or 4 games, he could have come in. I know he was ill for one of them, wasn't he?
Come back into training, isn't he?
No, it's been about three weeks now since he came back.
Give the guy a chance to get back into it. You can't just suddenly throw him into his debut when he's come off.
Well, you've thrown Archie Gray into a centre-back position
that
he's never played before.
Gray wasn't injured for 6 months, was he?
If you train at the intensity that you do in Ange's team, then you're up to match fitness. That's what we're led to believe. Their intensity. You only have to see it with Porro. It looks like Porro. Sorry, not Porro.
It's interesting. It's interesting because I was sat with Billy at the airport last Thursday before our flight, and he was saying that he went to Sutton the previous weekend. And
Billy in the comments, the troll.
No, Billy Cairns.
All right, I'll just check which Billy.
And Billy goes, he just watches the under-21s, or when the team aren't playing, and he said that Dorrington had a most awful game. So, but for me, it was lovely.
All of our players have got one in there.
It was great to see him. Gray should be playing instead of Basuma. Shouldn't be anywhere near the back four.
By the way, we actually saw both of them when we went to Fulham. like Billy and Dorrington, and they kind of like like that day was a bit woeful as well, right?
Oh, God, it was awful, wasn't it, JP? 4-0, wasn't it, that day? We got absolutely murdered.
You know, Matt Coppin sent me this, which is basically these are the average delays before the restarting of play. So once the ball stops, how long
Yeah.
does the game stay stopped? And Spurs have the least amount of delay, which basically suggests that we are very quick to restart, and it doesn't allow
Russian.
fullbacks who are high up to get back in time into position, or players that might need to regroup, reshape to get into that shape, because we're so quick to get going again. And that, he believes, is linked to why we've got so many injuries, is that we don't ever take that breather. There's no time to just get your breath back or regroup and be where you're supposed to be for the team. And when I looked at that, I thought, do you know something? There is probably something in that, because the way we play tactically, it doesn't give us time to reset. So I don't know if that is why we're getting injuries, but it's interesting that we came top for the least amount of time that the ball is, not in play. But yeah, Iggy, how did you view that game?
Well, you might want to answer double D, because I think he's about to go triple D if you don't answer.
Let him stick a super chat in.
Fair
Double
enough.
D. Why has he named himself after a woman's bra size? Why would you call yourself Double D?
I don't
Because he's a bit of a tit.
Hey!
In
Well
terms
That's
of
an Ian joke. That. Sorry, that's an Ian joke.
in terms of the game itself, both managers went into it a little bit. Well, probably Southampton more than with huge amount of pressure, given the results that both teams have been picking up of late. So a win was massively important for both teams going into it. But in terms of what we can comment on, what I certainly felt like I can comment on it, it's probably sort of the first 25 minutes, because after that, first 20 minutes, the game was done and dusted. Fans were leaving. Southampton fans were leaving the stadium after 15, 20 minutes. So they'd already given up, and there was a sense of I felt it straight away, by the way, that after Maddison scored after 30 odd seconds, there was a sense of like they'd given up. They were looking around each other, so there was a sense of they threw the towel in. Certainly I felt it even more so after the second goal, and then shortly after the third goal. So it's very difficult to comment that match when it was all over within 15 minutes. Then, of course, it facilitated all the changes afterwards. We was able to take off Son, resting for the Thursday game. So we was all thinking ahead the next game within at half time. Gave the opportunity to one or two of the youngsters to get into it. So it was calm. It was nice in a way to watch a Spurs game, knowing that you wrap things up. And taking a 3 points. I've forgotten the last time. Like I felt, wow, man. I didn't have to even, the coffee that or the drink, the hot drink that I had watching the game hadn't even got cold before the game was over, sort of thing. So it was nice to have an easy game, and that's not something to take lightly with Spurs these days. In terms of the position we played, that was probably the most awful done team that we faced all season. They were done. They were cooked, done, ready to. The fans, like I said, the fans walking out after 15, 20 minutes of the game spoke volume, and and the way they played as well. They were out of their depth. That's how I felt about Southampton, and to face a team that were actually worse, not only than us, but just worse in general. We just put the nail on the coffin. It's a good confidence game as well, because I think sometimes the team needs that kind of game where they just absolutely annihilate a team, and it's just like it breathes in a little bit of confidence before the tough game comes. So I don't know. I can't take too much out of that game in terms of our way, because everything went our way. I was pleased to see the likes of Bergvall in the side making his first start. I was pleased for Jed Spence who started very, very strongly. And, you know, it was just good to see young players getting involved. And you know, they didn't come into it like, you know, at an easy moment for Spurs.
Iggy,
So
would
to
you have
get,
given them more minutes on the pitch at 5-0?
listen, I've been speaking about Bergvall for a while. Jed Spence, I felt that in the time prior to his injury, was getting involved in, you know, he was getting a little bit of game time, you know, the Coventry game. And
No, I mean
I
like
think, man,
Dorrington and Lancashire. Would you have given them
oh,
more minutes in the game?
look, Dorrington, you guys just spoke spoke about Lancashire got that. Is it? Didn't he play against Galatasaray? Didn't he? And then he got himself sent off. And
He scored and then
listen,
he got sent off. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
he
Listen,
started the game though. He started the game.
yeah. That after that Galatasaray game, even though he got sent off, it would have been a good. It would have been nice for him to have got involved the following Premier League game, as in, like, come on, to say, look, yeah, we accept that you made a mistake, but you did a bad thing, but you also did some good stuff in it. I thought, anyway, so why not give him the opportunity? As you guys
But
mentioned,
Iggy,
Solanke.
what I'm saying is, at 5-0 against a team that is going to get relegated, who can't even touch us on the day, would you have brought on more youngsters with, let's say, 40 minutes to go, 30 minutes to go, instead of 8 minutes?
Dorrington could have come in a bit sooner. For sure, he could have come in. He did come on, but he could have come in a bit sooner. And Lancashire would have been a nice little 20 minutes, half hour. Why not? Listen, it's all. It could have been, yeah, a game at 5-0 was done. For sure, he could have brought someone sooner. I don't see why not. But even moving forwards, in games, you know, in games, growth comes from players getting minutes, and belief comes from games. Belief in oneself comes from when you have trust of people around you. So if the manager then starts playing these players, and I don't think Spurs fans would mind that either. I certainly wouldn't, having to see players come on getting minutes. You know, even in games that are in a balance, not just games when they're done and dusted.
Yeah,
I think one
go on.
point I just wanted to say really quickly was, like, obviously some of the fans were some started streaming out after, like, the second goal, and then some after the third goal. I think the funniest thing I saw was it was a guy who had a stick, like a blind stick, and he was actually leaving after 2-0. So that's how bad it was.
But do you know what though? do you know what? We need to start getting these players
Oh my god.
more game time, because we risk seriously with one or two players already in the team, and I think Porro's one of them. That's probably the most evident. And Udogie picking up an injury is no shock either, because of the amount of minutes that we are risking of severely burning out our players even before we get into the second half of the season. I think Porro's going through that in terms of form. I don't think physically he's struggling as such, but in terms of the form, now he's having a dip. Udogie can't seem to shake off this injury that he's had. So now we find ourselves with 3 of our back 4 out. Romero, Van der Ven, and now Udogie's added to that list. We've got a run of games coming up with 3 of our, and a goalkeeper, of course, not forgetting him. So only our right back remains fit, but who's now out of form. That's our back 5. Four injured and 1 out of form. So we need to get the likes of Jed Spence, who will probably play now instead of in Udogie's place at left back. Reguilon. I mean, I don't know if he's ever going to come into the frame. He's the only left back that we have fit that is in that position. So we really need to start involving. I agree with Stel. We need to start giving these youngsters more minutes, but not because we have injuries, although it is a reason, but to give them the trust to know that they're going to get involved. They will make mistakes, but say, do you know what? You won't be punished for making mistakes, because it's part of your
growing,
growth.
isn't it?
Part of growing, and fans need to understand that. But then the other argument can be, well, why haven't we got a squad big enough to because injuries are part of football. It's not just Spurs that have injuries. Every team around in the Premier League have their own injuries. It's just being able to deal with them, because you have enough quality within your squad to overcome these difficult moments when you have those injuries.
We said that at the start of the season, though, Iggy, right? At the start of the season, we all sat and had a chat together on here and basically said last year we had 1 game a week.
Yeah.
Guess what? This year, if we stay in a couple of the cups, we've got Europa.
Massively need to
We
stay in
all
the
know
cup.
all the Christmas games happen every year, right? So that was all known, right?
Staying in the cups gives a real purpose to our season, because I don't feel without us being in the cups or having any continuation in the cups moving forward, I don't know what kind of season we will have just playing the Premier League, if that makes sense. I'd rather us, like this Southampton game leading up to the Man United game was perfect because it went our way very quickly. We was able to make those changes to facilitate things for that United. So for me, when we are on the cusp of playing a European game or domestic, I think we should just say, do you know what? We will make changes in the Premier League game to facilitate things for our cup games. I would really prioritise the cup games. If it was up to me, I would say, you know, but then people argue, well, why have we got in ourselves a situation where we've got to, like, almost as if not take importance into the Premier League to allow the cup? We should have a squad. But yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that. But we're not. But right now, given our situation, I would say, you know what, Man United's coming up. Let's. We was able to do those changes, but even in future. Doesn't matter who we're playing if we're struggling with players, I'll make the changes for that league. Let the youngsters get Premier League experience, but keep my best team going forward to whatever cup game we're playing in.
I said that last week, Iggy. Like, and I'm Ange. He's got 3 lives because we're still in 3 of those cups.
Yeah, right now
the league's like, to me. And
yeah,
even if we asked each other all at the start of the season, what would a success be? Winning a cup. Not bothered. Oh, let's finish 15th, 16th, whatever it is. But as long as we win a cup, that's like success. At the moment, those 3 lives are still there. I'm not fussed about finishing 4th. Not me as a fan.
Still,
go on.
So I was going to say, Stel, do you want to respond to this Double D guy before the poor guy has an enema? Because I think his eye's going to pop out his head in a minute. I don't get what he's saying now. Double D with Levy out and ENIC out, mate. There isn't a distinction between the two. There is no debating Stel.
The strings.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you noticed, but the picture I put up earlier has Joe Lewis in the picture as well. Maybe Double D you can't see. I don't know. I don't know what your real name is or what your vision's like, but do you know what it is? I don't like giving people like Double D energy because I shouldn't say it, but I have to, man. I don't any other way. He's just a pussy. They hide in the chats with these fake names, these fake accounts. I'll put a link right now for you to come on, right? You're not going to come on with your camera on so we can see your face and your microphone. I'll put it in the chat, right? I've just put it in. There you go. Will you come on and debate? No, you won't. But then you'll say things like, you say you're a great debater, but you can't answer the point. Well, come on and debate. Otherwise, well, when I call you a pussy, I'm spot on, aren't I? And call me a fraud, call me this, call me that. Why don't you mention Joe Lewis? This is the biggest Spurs channel, bar none, with the most subscribers, the most members, that bangs the ENIC out and Levy out drum. Expressions is massive. He doesn't bang the drum the way we do. Chris Cowling's got over 100,000 subscribers. He doesn't bang the drum the way we do. Last Word and Spurs do it when the tide turns, but then they'll quickly revert back if we win 3 games. We are Tottenham TV. They allow others to come on and talk about it. They'll have debates, but they don't bang the drum we do. We're the biggest channel that talks about Levy out, ENIC out every single freaking week. Yesterday, we did, I think, an hour on it after we spoke about the Southampton game. So I don't get it. And on top of it, most of us here go to the protests. I've been, Ian's been, JP's been, Maz has been. In fact, hold on. In fact, I've got a video. Yeah, look, right. Tell me who you spot in this video.
We won't leave you out. Say we won't leave you out. We won't leave you out. We won't leave you out. Say we won't leave you out.
When is your breaking point? Tell me.
Right, so we've done our bit. We do our bit. We talk the talk, we walk the walk, man. There's the evidence. And I don't know if you noticed, in the background, the big white banner said Enoch out with a pound sign. So, Double D, man, whatever your issue is, this is the wrong channel to come for. We're on your
just
side.
for clarity,
and you're,
that
and you're
wasn't me in the
attacking
hat.
us. That was Lee. He's lost a bit of weight. He's lost a bit of weight.
He's a quality guy though. Been supporting Spurs for God knows how many years and stuff, and he was like absolutely.
Oh, the rabbi. Yeah, he's a nutter. Absolute nutter. But why would you come for this channel on Enoch and Lee? We've done everything we can. We told everyone you got to get involved, and Double D comes here. And by the way, you haven't clicked on the link to come and debate, man. I don't know. It's a weird fan base. Anyway, I've addressed it. I don't want to give him any more time. I don't want to give him any more time. Wrong channel, mate. Wrong channel to come for. But what's everyone else is thinking about the youngsters? Because for me, it really did piss me off. Because last season we had the conversation when we were 4-0 up against Newcastle at home. Why not give the kids a run out? This was an even better opportunity. 5-0 up against a much worse team. What's wrong with us or the manager or the coaches that they don't feel confident? Yeah, give them 30 minutes. Did they think if Lancashire came on and Dorrington came on for 30 minutes that we'd draw the game or something? I don't get it.
They're worried about outshining Solanke, weren't they? Because he did nothing for 70 minutes.
That's sad.
Someone got a couple of goals.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah, listen, I'm with you, Stel. It was the absolute prime time to give these guys proper minutes, not just 8 minutes at the end of the match where we're not even interested in attacking. Proper half an hour. And I was sitting there on the couch talking to it about the wife. I said, "This is it. 60 minutes. Right, come on, get Lancashire on. Give him a half an hour on the pitch. Let him see what he can do. In all of the positions, wherever it was there. But again, he just. I mean, I'm glad Dorrington got a few more minutes, but that's all he decided to do. I don't. Yeah, I think most other managers would have changed him out earlier than he did, rather than giving him just a cameo. That's just not on.
It was half and half yesterday, Ange, wasn't he? Because he started Spence, he started Bergvall. It's not that he didn't play kids, but he just didn't change it up as he should have done when we're 5-0 up.
Yeah, listen, it was a magnificent opportunity that we're not going to get again this season against a team that was no threat to us to say, you, Premier League minutes. Show me what you got. Here's your moment. Go and do it.
We'll get the opportunity at home, won't we, still? When we play them at home later in the season.
You bet they'll have a manager that's sorted them out by then. They won't be playing out from the back like that again. I don't freaking hell.
Listen, if these kids don't get minutes or don't even start against Tamworth in the cup, then something is seriously wrong.
Yeah.
If one of the defenders are back, I'd put Dorrington in with Dragus in, give him minutes, put Archie Gray in midfield, give some of the other kids time to start. As long as you balance it with first team players, it's absolutely fine. But if he doesn't do it then especially at their ground as well, then give them a proper experience, because we should be beating those guys all day long, right? Absolutely. I can't. There's something seriously wrong with it. And listen, I know he doesn't coach players. He's not coaching these youngsters. But yeah, he's got to use that opportunity to give them minutes.
I think so. I think the youngsters should have had more minutes, but. All right, maybe he's resting them for the Man United game. Lancashire to start up front in the Carabao Cup. Dorrington at centre back with Gray. What do you reckon?
I think that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing for me, is the fact that you've got an important cup game coming up on Thursday, and those senior players need to give them a rest. 5-0 up.
Yeah, but-
Perfect opportunity.
Do you know what worries me about Man United though is our right hand side, because I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be any fullback coming up against Ahmad and what's the other guy's name who plays at right back for United at the moment,
Right? Don't they play the back three, Man United?
or back three, or one of the
Is it
right wing back.
Umadi or something, isn't it?
The linked Maguire and Martinez at the back three, aren't they?
No, but wasn't it Umadi or something?
Yeah, one of their right back and Ahmad, I think, are two really good talented players. I wouldn't want to be them coming up against them, especially with like
Mazraoui.
Mazraoui, that's it.
Yeah. Well done,
And
M.
I think they've got some down the right hand side, because we still
M,
don't know the
Jeff,
full extent of Spence.
Cam.
Udoji's going to be out. You imagine Porro's going to be coming back on the
Is
right.
Udogie injured, guys? I don't know. Is he actually injured?
I think they said they took him off as a precaution, but you never really can tell, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
He said that about Van der Ven the other day.
Well, exactly. I mean, the problem is, if this is the issue, isn't it? If they bringing him back and he really has taken a knock, and Spence is okay because he came off with a calf injury as well, which didn't look great. Then
It could
surely
have been cramps, though. It could have been cramps.
Yeah, you could be right. I'm still a bit worried about these players doing training every day and getting cramps in a match.
Udogie seems to
really
go down a
worrying.
lot in games and has to come off.
Yeah,
too
but
often.
that's probably because he's not getting enough time to
Yeah, he's not
rest. You've
recover-
got to
yeah,
rest these
recover.
things. He's
There's
not
no
recovering
recovery time,
properly.
really.
Why wasn't Reguilon in the squad then? What's happened there? I thought he was in the squad
I don't know.
for the game before, wasn't he?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he was, but
He's
he
not
wasn't
in the
in this one.
European squad, but he's definitely available to play in the league game. This is what I'm saying. The league games right now, given our season in the Premier League, they should be playing those games, even if nothing else, to get up to match fitness, and really try and prioritise the cup games. It's not something that Tottenham do as a club, as an ethos, and we always don't prioritise the cup games. But I think we should this season.
Reguilon's finished at Spurs. Ange will never pick him.
It's just a number. It's just a number. Even when we saw him on the bench, he's just a number.
But then he's
But
killing.
then
But
he wasn't put a kid on the bench.
But then he shouldn't be going in press conferences and saying, well, he's ready and he's in the team and he's there if I need him. Because that's what he said a couple of weeks ago. And if he's got no intention of using him, just shut up.
Lee, with all due respect, listen, I'm going to be honest with you guys. For the last sort of few weeks, I've stopped listening to Ange in the press conferences because it's
Hickey, that's the most entertaining part.
But what he says doesn't always match what happens. And for me, in the last it's been a few weeks now.
I stopped when he said Werner's doing well.
Well,
Werner came on yesterday.
Werner's doing well, but then he completely ruined him after the Rangers game.
Changed
To
the
then
story
bring him back
last
on,
week.
then bring him on. So I don't know.
In fact, what he said was, this was after the Rangers game. He wasn't playing anywhere near the levels he can. When you've got 18-year-olds, it's not acceptable to me. I told him that he's a senior international, a German international, and in the moment we're in now, I need everyone to be at least going out there and giving their best they can. But what he produced wasn't acceptable. When I'm asking the young players to do massive jobs, I expect more from the senior players like him. So a month ago, he said he's doing really well. After Rangers, the day before Rangers, he said, I'll never criticise players. Then the next day, he criticised a player, threw Werner under a bus, and then against Southampton, he brings him on. I stopped listening. I don't know what he's a lunatic. Ange's a madman.
This is why I have stopped listening to him, because they don't tally up between the two. Jet Spence hasn't been given a look in for a long time, but whenever he's played, he's done reasonably. I think he's done reasonably well. I thought he did really well yesterday. I don't understand. I don't understand the contrast of what he says. Yeah.
He's being tapped up for the next Batman film to play the Riddler. That's what it is.
Do you know what? How do you not feel about Spence and Bergvall from what you saw of them yesterday? Do you feel like these guys warrant at least a possibility to
I thought Spence stuck a massive middle finger up to Ange in the first 30 seconds when he spun the guy out wide, drove forward, and then curved it with the outside of his boot into the
That was
path of
quality,
Maddison.
man. That was a quality right back play. That was.
He said to Ange, "Yeah, keep me out of Europe. Yeah, don't bring me on when you got the chance." I hope Spence takes his chance if he gets it now. As for Bergvall, I thought when he came on against Rangers, I was quite impressed, but I wasn't that wowed by him against Southampton, though.
Do you think he played deeper? Because it seemed that he played a little bit deeper yesterday, and I didn't think really that was.
No, you're right. He was a little bit deeper, yeah.
Quality players, JP, want time on the ball. If you give quality players time on the ball, they can hurt. And I think in this Tottenham team right now, the best those quality players, if you notice, they come really deep to get a foothold on the ball. Maddison does it quite a lot. He drops into quite deep positions because of the inverted fullbacks and stuff like that. So I think that's where they where they feel they get most joy in the way that we play. But do you know what? It was quality, or maybe to allow Maddison to give him a bit more freedom to go forward. Maybe he played that role as well. Whatever it is, man, quality players. I always say this, right? Quality players will find that they will go and find these spaces, these pockets, wherever they feel. You got to allow quality, talented fantasy players. You need to allow them room to breathe in this egotistical managerial. Not just our managers, but just managers in general. They're so egotistical that they stifle a lot of these quality players, not allow them to create and go into areas where they feel that they can. You've got to allow these players that freedom, because if you stifle them into your tactical prison, and what a lot of these managers do, they won't be able to play their football. You're stifling these players, and we can't afford to lose these sort of players, because this is what people pay their money for the tickets to go and see. They want to go and see these players create, not to be stifled into a tactical prison, which is what a lot of managers do these days.
But it's difficult for a youngster, though, Iggy, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, if Ange says to...
Yeah, if he doesn't do what he said, he ain't going to play. So he has to compromise.
Number
you're
6,
right.
I want you
You're
to stay at the
right.
back there and protect that back four, right?
I agree.
So he's going to go, okay, well, I'm going to do that. I'm not really going to venture out because...
Where's the Wall Street? I recognise that name. Is that Si?
Simon, yeah. Simon. Big up. By the way, if anyone's into crypto or NFTs, go onto YouTube and type in the Whales of Wall Street. Simon's channel is
best. He's the best. If you're into that stuff, he's the best.
He knows what he's talking about. So check out Simon on Whales of Wall Street. We should really get Simon to sponsor us, shouldn't we? After that plug, we should demand sponsorship.
No, listen. I was really pleased to see these both boys be given not only a start in the Premier League, which is massive, but for them to actually make the most of that opportunity given to them. I really truly hope that the manager looks at that and says, you know what, I've now got 2 more players that I can really trust and depend on, because they will do exactly what I asked them to do. And I'll be amazed. I wouldn't be amazed actually, given if we don't see them again. I'd be amazed if we wouldn't see again, but then I wouldn't, because it's such a, it's such a thing that we would do in this team.
Well, the thing is with Spence. Yeah, the thing is with Spence is that I don't think he had a bad summer. I think he played really well in the friendlies, and I thought he showed potential. So for it to take this long to get an opportunity when we've had Porro, who's had injuries and stuff, it's just damn right.
I know Spence was injured recently, but when he was asked about Spence, Ange days. When Ange was asked about Spence, and I said, "Oh, we know he's been doing really well." And he turned around and said something like, "Is he? Is he doing well? Is he?" Like, it almost questioned the person that was asking him. I doing well. Like, it didn't agree with him. It was somewhere along that lines, and I just thought, "What's going on here? Like, is there something going on?"
I'm sure he scored against Coventry, didn't he?
In the background, and I just thought, yeah, he. And I started to think, well, what's going on? Because Conte never wanted to play him. He never liked him. No one else sort of seemed to want to play him. And then now this is happening. I'm thinking, well, every time I've bloody seen him against coming on, or Man United came on, I thought he did really well at left back. Coventry's come on, scored the winning goal, and I'm thinking to myself, what's going on here? What is this? And I see him yesterday, and I'm thinking to myself, Why is it taking? You're right. Why is it taking this long? I know, like I said, I know Billy. I understand he's been injured recently. I get that. But surely he's in contention
There's
to
no
be
excuses at
the
all.
first
Ange fucked it.
alternative to
Ange
both.
fucked it.
He should be the first alternative for me moving forward
It's
to
ridiculous.
both Porro and to Andrew Doggy because he
Yeah.
has proved that he can play there as well. So I agree. The manager's not got it right. In
Iggy,
terms
we
of
went into Europe with a Dogie left back.
just two players, yeah, two
Porro right
players.
back.
Yeah, that's it.
No other wing back, Reggie or Spence in the squad. So, Ange, if
About
you
5 goalkeepers. Isn't it?
if you have an injury or a sending off or a suspension to wing back, what do
Archie
you
Gray
do?
played.
Oh, I know. The £40 million number 6. He can
Yeah,
play the
Archie
number
Gray.
3.
Archie
Yeah,
Gray.
great idea. Brilliant. Yeah, genius. When you've got two wing backs at the club already. It's the manager.
I have to. Do you know what?
Weird things.
Archie Gray, I have to say, right. He's made mistakes, but I have to say, man, whether you put him at right back or left back or centre back,
He gets on with it, didn't he?
he gets on with it, and that's admirable, man. You have to admire a player that just gets on with it, and it doesn't affect his own confidence. Yeah, it doesn't affect his. Yeah, but he's not as exposed, is he? As he's a fullback, because at the end of the day, the movements of a centre midfielder. If anyone that's played football, the movements that you do as a centre midfielder, it's not the same as a wide player. The movements are completely different. The dynamics, the viewing of the game is completely different. You play a fullback, it's not quite the same as playing a centre. So even if you play centre mid, it's centre mid and centre backs are closer in positions than it is when you drifted out wide and you got Mo Salah coming at you, or you got Diaz running at you, or you got all these wingers in the Premier League coming at you, and you're thinking, man, I've never, as a centre midfielder, I would never be exposed in this sort of situation.
It's going to be Jota on Gray.
Yeah, Jota. I would
versus
never
Gray.
be exposed as a midfielder. I would never be exposed in a one-on-one situation in wide areas unless I'm covering someone. It's a completely different look, complete different movement, and yeah, okay. What's the kid going to do? The manager's asking him to play there. I would never cuss the kid because I'm thinking he's doing what the manager's asking him to do. That's not on him. That will be on the manager. But if I see a player being exposed to his weaknesses, that's not on him playing there. That's on the manager. He's never asked to play there, but he's doing a job there. The same way he's coming to do. So what I admire about him is the fact that whatever happens in a match, good and bad, he gets on with it. That's a proper professional player, that is.
Ian, what do you think about Archie Gray?
You got your Christmas card for him yet, or what?
We're talking about Archie Gray. This is your moment. We've been waiting months for this moment.
Come on.
I don't have to say any more. He says,
really.
I've been saying for months, this guy can play football. He's a player. He'll be terrific. He's going to be a regular in our first team within the next 12 to 15 months.
I would love to see him being given opportunity in a position that we.
Oh my God! I keep saying
to pay that money on a player that we've never really seen in his favourite position is for me is mind-boggling. Because why would you not spend 40 million? Well, if you needed that area to be covered in fullbacks, why would you not spend 40 million and get an actual fullback that can play right or left?
He got roasted at times playing fullback by wingers who would roast most fullbacks in the Premier League. And he's playing out of position. He's 18 years old. People forget that. People expect him to be, to play like a 25-year-old. Because this is his first year at a big club in the Premier League. I think he's terrific. He's showing that he is a proper footballer. And given the chance, for me, the manager has a lot to answer for. Spence should be starting at right back because for me, Porro is not a defender. Never in a million years. I played Porro in front of Spence. I played Porro there instead of Johnson. I don't know how the manager can't see that. Gray should be instead of Basuma. Sorry, Basuma is a liability. He's a wild card. You don't know what you're going to get with him, and you just can't have that in a Premier League team. Doesn't matter whether you're Liverpool or Southampton. You can't.
When's Benson go back into how many games is
after the Liverpool game?
It was
Okay, so it's soon.
He's back for the Wolves game, I believe. He misses Man United, he misses Liverpool, and then he's back for Wolves.
So yeah, the back.
Phil, hold that thing here. No, can you flip back one? Because We Are Spurs TV likes to have a pop at me every single time I'm on the show. That's
Let's
fine.
read it out. Let's read it out.
I've
So
got broad
Ian
shoulders.
is saying, let me read it out. So what Ian is saying is Gray's good enough for centre mid, but Ange isn't playing him there to intentionally lose games.
No, that's not what he said.
The problem with Ange is that he doesn't trust kids, and he's been pushed into playing kids. We saw that last year when he was bringing Skip on when we're losing games against Villa and West Ham instead of Donnelly to try and get a goal back. The manager has made so many weird selections.
But again, it's very contrasting because he's the one who gave the green light for these kids to come to the club. So it's not what you're saying is contrast. It's contrasting what he said. He said he gave the green light for these players to come on board, the youngsters, but yet he won't give them a chance on the pitch to have a go.
Yeah, but then
again, it ties to what he's been doing all season.
Also on the flip side, he's trusting him to play left back, right back, centre back.
Yeah, so it's just not in the position that they were brought in for, which is incredible.
You know what? Most 18-year-olds don't even play in the Premier League, let alone play in 3 positions. And everybody's judging him. People are saying, "Oh, send him out on loan. He's not good enough." But how do people know that?
Can I say right?
Now we want him back. We want Phillips back, and we're talking about getting Phillips
back. But hasn't We Are Spurs TV got a point though, where he says if Gray's so good, why isn't he being played in midfield? Because he's got no worries playing him centre back, right back. What? There should be no fear playing him in midfield, but he doesn't do it. He never does it.
He's playing him at the back still. He's playing him at the back because of injuries. As far as Ange is concerned, he is intransigent when it comes to a pecking order, and he will not move. However bad Sarr, Benson, or Basuma play, those are the 3. Unless there's mass injuries in that position, he will not bring people in. Look how long it's taken for him to bring Bergvall in. It's crackers, absolutely crackers. And everybody's moaning about the inconsistency, about how poor we've played in so many games this season. We're nearly halfway through it. We are 10th in the table.
Yeah.
We are 10th.
Ian, I think if we had the injury crisis in midfield and we had all our defenders in the team, I think he would have.
Well, can we talk about this? Let's talk about this, okay? Because this was the title of the show, Ange or Nuno, and the reason is if you look at the league table as it stands, Spurs are 10th, 23 points. Nottingham Forest are 5 points ahead of us on 28. They've won a game more. They have lost 3 games less than us, and whether you want to agree or not, Nuno is doing an unbelievable job right now at Nottingham Forest. And the thing with Nuno is when he came to Spurs, he joined the club that was a mess. There were no signings given to him. We didn't have any new signings whilst he was here. We made the signings, then he came in, so he never got to shape the team. He won his first 3 games, got manager of the month, 3 clean sheets, 3 wins, and then the wheels came flying off and it was like, right, Nuno out. But he then went to Saudi Arabia, won the league. Okay, people say, it's the Saudi league, all right. Fair enough. Then we've got to use the same for Ange, it's only the Scottish or the Japanese league. But he's come back to the UK. He's taken over Nottingham Forest, and the guy is doing phenomenally well. And I just want to ask you the question: who's better, Nuno or Ange? Ange has had more to deal with in terms of Europe, cups, and the league. Nuno's had to deal with cups and the league, but no Europe. We've spent 350 million. I don't think Nuno got that kind of funding. And when you look at the squads, guys, let me just show you Nottingham Forest's squad. Let me show you Nottingham Forest's squad, right? So, in goal, they've got Sells. Look at these players they've got. Defenders, Da Silva, Dos Santos, Williams. You could say Nico Williams might not be too bad. Omobedele, Toffolo. I mean, I don't even know these names. Moreno, Bolli. Milenkovic, we know is really good from Fiorentina. We know he was a good player. Abbott, Aina. I don't know these players. In midfield, Sangare, Anderson, Gibbs-White, we know he's a good player. Ryan Yates, Ward-Prowse, we know he's a good player. Dominguez, De Oliveira. And then up front, Awoni, Chris Woods, who was a reject everywhere he goes. Hudson-Odoi, Chelsea reject. Silva, Elanga, Man United reject. Sosa, Dennis. You look at these names, you look at these players, you're thinking, there's nothing special there. And you look at our squad, the money we've spent, I think there's a strong argument to say Nuno is better than Ange. The league table doesn't lie. That squad doesn't lie. Do you think maybe Nuno just doesn't suit the big clubs? And
I think
just to end my little, I'm just setting it up for you guys to debate. From the day Nuno left Wolves, that club's gone to shit. Wolves have completely fallen apart, and it began when Nuno left. I don't know, man. What do you think, Nuno or Ange?
when Nuno came to Spurs, it was the only team that he's managed without his assistant manager. I was told last week, the only one. I reckon that probably had quite a bearing.
And do you mean, you obviously mean for Tottenham, right? Personally, I'd say none of them. Neither of them. Either of them. At the end of the day, Nuno came in, nobody took to him really. Everyone had a whinge, he's not good enough for us. Everyone said that from day one. We all played, I think those first 4 games, they were just literally 1-0s, weren't they?
First 3 were 1-0. The next 3 were 3-0, I think.
Yeah.
We lost to Palace, Arsenal, and Chelsea.
Yeah, and not even having a shot on target in those 3 games or something.
Ange Postecoglou has lost to Arsenal, Palace, and Chelsea.
And he went and Nuno took a team to Palace. I remember this. And his midfield was Winks, Skip, and Højbjerg.
This is what I'm saying to you guys. Like, who do you think's the better manager?
I think it's hard to tell because Nuno wasn't there long enough, really, was he?
No.
Yeah. And I think at Forest, he's just having a blast at the moment. It'll die down. Personally, I feel.
We say this every week. We say this every week about Forest, and they keep getting better.
Yeah, but Leicester did it a couple of years ago, and then
they won the league. They won the league, JP.
No,
Nuno might win the league.
No.
Listen, at the end of the day, any manager, any managers that succeeds or fails really comes down to how the setup is at the club. And I just think right now, not just now, I think any manager that comes to Tottenham right now is a poison chalice. It's what the England job was a few years ago before Southgate did what he did. That was a poison chalice, and I just think Tottenham right now is that poison chalice. I just don't think any manager is set up to do not only well but to succeed. I just don't see that there's a setup there for a manager to elevate.
It's a different
this
pressure
club
at
moving
Spurs,
forward.
right?
I think whenever you go to another set, you go to Forest, the pressure, the demands are different. Perhaps at Wolves, the demands were different as well. And he was given players to work with, to value, and to make a team out of them. I don't think any manager at Spurs. I'm not saying that they're not giving money. This is not what I'm saying. I just think it's a different type of pressure. But it's rinse and repeat with every single manager. Don't matter what level of, whether it's elite, whether it's a newbie, or whether it's an up and coming. Which those managers, by the way, are not going to be coming at Spurs anymore. There's only up and coming managers that want to make a name of themselves will come to Spurs, or ones that are on a downward spiral, just literally going over the hill and now towards the best years behind him. Those are the only managers we're going to attract going forward. I don't think somebody that's at a certain level is going to come and risk coming to Spurs.
Absolutely.
Iggy, with this current squad, we've all said that if Conte had this squad, it's all set up for Conte ball, right? If Nuno had this squad, would he be doing better than Ange? If Nuno had this squad?
I think the only thing that Nuno has over Ange is Premier League experience, man. That's the only thing that I can see that he has. He's had Premier League experience with Wolves, with Spurs, and now with Forest.
So does that make him better than Ange then?
For me, of course it does. It gives him more experience. It definitely gives him the edge. There's no two ways about that. But
He knows how to
also,
play the league,
I
right?
think Nuno. The only thing Nuno probably offers a little bit more is probably that he has flexibility, depending on the team that he's playing against. He has to. He adjusts. But all managers have their. In my mind, yeah, they all have a way of play, a style of play. But I do believe every single manager, depending on your position that they have in front of them, they do tweak and adjust. That doesn't mean that you're giving up on anything that you know your style of play. But having in your armor to tweak and adjust to the opposition, you're not discarding what the opposition. You're not giving up what you're doing, but you're not discarding the way the opposition are coming at you. So you prepare. That's why. Well, what's the point of training? So we've been training all week because we knew we're playing this opposition. It's like the opposition that don't have any European games. They adjust. They look at who they got ahead and then play that. That week at training, they do some. They're set up in a way that they're going to play you. Why do they do that? If everyone did what they this is how we do. This is who we are, mate. This is who we're playing. Doesn't matter who we got in front of us. We will always play the same way. Then you get picked apart. That's why a lot of teams that have been successful with us this season is because they've realised where they can pick us apart. Now, if we go against the likes of Liverpool and play the way we are, who we are, mate. If we play that way, you can see the likes of Salah, Jota, Diaz picking us apart in the channels because they can get into. They will ruin us if
we're going to get.
If we then adjust in the way that we did against Man City, whether we did it deliberately,
we'll give them a game. We'll give them a game.
They're not going to see us giving a game. If we go open the way we know when we've seen them do it, then we're going to get absolutely destroyed. And we'll get to the Liverpool game nearer to the time. But those are the kind of things I see happening. But you have to tweak and adjust depending. Even more so if you feel like your opposition is better than you, and Liverpool are better than us. If we don't tweak and adjust for that game, we'll get ruined. But if we do adjust, then we give ourselves a chance of winning as well.
Still, can I put something out there that was on a Twitter group that I'm on? Someone was commenting about the away fans last night with Levy out and starting this and the chat, and I was listening to Dan and Tommy today talking about keeping the pressure on against Levy, and someone on the back of all of this actually said that if everybody pushes to get Ange out, Levy gets rid of Ange, that takes the pressure off Levy, and in the long run, this is doing nothing to help our club while he is in charge, because it doesn't matter who comes in, whether it's Potter, Conceição, whoever. None of them are going to get the backing that we need, and none of them will have the chance to take Tottenham towards the top of the table and in a position where we are challenging and back to being a club that challenges for the Premiership like we were under Poch. Isn't it better to lay off Ange at the moment and keep the pressure on Levy? Because he's the problem. He is the big problem. He's a much bigger problem for our club than Ange Postecoglou. Managers come and go, but this chairman's been here for 24 years and we've had 16 managers come and go. And this guy is still there wrecking our club. That is a much bigger problem than Postecoglou.
Ian, as long as fans can accept that potentially in 3 or 4 games' time we could be 14th or 15th in the Premier League, then fine. But this is my point I was trying to get to earlier, where people need to keep their feet firmly on the ground. We beat Southampton 5-0. They were shit. Mm-hmm. We go to Liverpool. Now people are in the chat room saying, "Oh, Liverpool are crumbling. We'll give them a good game." I'm sorry. I'm worried about Gakpo.
Top of the league?
Exactly. Coming up against Gakpo and Salah and Jota is going to be a massive difference for our makeshift back four than any of these other guys. I didn't know this,
by the way. I didn't realise Madison was suspended.
Oh, they didn't flash that up on the screen.
No,
is that in just in the cups then?
Listen,
listen. As long as people can accept that with Ange, then fine, go that way. But don't then moan by the end of December if we're sitting in 14th or 15th place. fingers crossed we're not, but there's a potential there because you've got the evidence, you've got the stats from the games and stuff like that. You can see how we're playing, and we don't turn up against the big teams.
Right, Ian. Before I met you, I was a lunatic, Enoch out, Levy out, almost a fanatic, just like the Wurzel Gummidge cult that Ange has got. I was part of the Levy Enoch cult, right? I was everything was their fault. And then I went to the protests. I was arguing with fans online. I was having a go at people for not turning on the owners. Stop blaming Jose. Stop blaming Poch. Stop blaming Conte. I'm sick of you lot. And then Conte came out and told us exactly how it is. And I thought, right, managers can speak up. If a manager really wants, he can speak up. And Conte did it. And I thought, from now on, I'm only going to accept a manager that does the best with what he's got. And if he feels he's not been backed, he's got to speak up, because Conte has now set the benchmark of how it can be done. So in my head, I'm looking at Ange and I'm thinking, I know Enoch's the biggest problem, and I know Levy's the biggest problem. I've protested. I've done it. I've done everything I can. And if it happens again, at some point, I will get involved again. I will. We've reached out to the guy, Jay, who's organising this protest. We want to speak with him. Anyway, Iggy's in charge of that, right? So Iggy's the communication between
manager
and the PR and the protest that's going on. And I said to myself, all Ange does is literally give Daniel Levy every get out of jail card. It's on me. I'm happy with this, with the substitutions, with the signings. These things happen. It's my fault. Blame me. Well, Ange, you're doing everything possible for me not to back you and actually turn on you, because you are accepting it's all you. Poch never did that. Rebnat never did that. Marino never did that. None of them put it on them. At one point, they said some weird things like, don't call me manager, call me coach, meaning I'm not in charge, or Dele Alli's the problem and Ndombele's the problem. Basuma doesn't get the tactics. I didn't want Jed Spence. They'd give you a hint that there's something wrong at the club. Ange does none of that. And because of it, fans love him. So this Ange-sexual cult has formed. So I'm now thinking, if Ange gets sacked, there's so many people that love this manager that they will flip on Levy. I'm actually thinking the opposite. I think this worshipping of Ange, which is sickening, because what has he done to deserve it? Because we never gave that to Conte, who deserved it. He got us top four. Mourinho, who got us to... Managers that actually deserved it from us, we told them to fuck off. And this manager, who for me is mismanaging the squad, he's not getting the best out of them, and his suicidal tactics. No, this time we're going to back the manager, you idiots. Why now? But if that leads to the love for Ange becoming the biggest heartbreak if they get rid of him, and then everyone turns on Levy, fine. Keep Ange if it's Levy's downfall. But I don't know. I don't know where fans are at with this. So, Ian, I don't know if I agree or disagree with you.
Well, the away fans before kick-off were singing "We Want Levy Out." We scored in 30 seconds. After 60 seconds, they're singing "We Want Levy Out." They were singing Postecoglou's name.
So imagine we sack Ange now.
So the whole thing. That's right. The whole thing was pro Ange and anti Levy last night, and this is hard. These are hardcore fans that go every.
Ian, but that's my point. That's my point. They're pro Ange. So if their beloved Ange gets taken away from them, surely they flip on Levy. That's what I'm trying to say now. That's how
I don't think they will. We've had this conversation. I don't think they will. Spurs fans.
I don't know. This is a strong cult that's formed. There's a very strong cult for Ange.
He'll go and bring someone else who plays a little bit of kick and rush football, and he'll win a couple of games to start with, and then it will all kick the can down the road.
Another set of players that need to come in. I can't work with all these players. These players you've signed don't work for me. Solanke's not right for my system. I can't work with Maddison and all this.
And that's another 4 years.
That's why I think fans will flip this time, JP. I think fans are at breaking point with projects, right? I think there's two types of fans. There's three types of fans at the club right now. Those that want this project to be seen out, regardless of where we are in the league, which is what Lee said. Then you've got me that are, no, I want Enoch out, Levy out, Lange and Ange. I think they're all con men. I want the whole thing gone.
Yep.
Or you've got those who are in the middle that, look, I'm not with Ange, but I'm not against him because the bigger problem's Enoch, which is kind of where I see Ian. Right? Or correct me if I'm wrong. So JP, I think there's three types.
They're also pro Enoch, pro Levy's, and there is that as well.
I think that's
Yeah,
dying,
well.
Billy. I think other than Sean, where's the pro Levy right now? Every channel has switched. Even Cowlin is on the brink, and God forbid he does. I mean, blimey, where would he get his
Yeah, but the thing is,
connection from going forward? But
the thing is, you get the ones that you get ones that are pro, ones that are against, and then the ones for me, especially in the YouTube, they just kind of just go. They're like a pendulum. They like just go left and they go right, and it depends on where the wind is blowing. That's how I see. It's
I
a weird.
honestly think our fans are quite happy. Go see what happens next year. See what the next manager can do. Give him the first few games. Let's see how he goes.
Let me try and sum up the 24 years. First few years, nobody knows. You're looking at stuff. We've come off the back of a League Cup, but we've had a few mid-table finishes through the 90s. You go in, we win the League Cup in 08. Having had Hoddle and Martignol as managers. You then get Harry, we're into the Champions League. You've got Bale, you've got exciting players, moves on, you get a little bit of a lull with Villas-Boas, and then you're into Poch. You have some great years with Poch, and all of a sudden people ignore the fact that Poch got to where he got to because Paul Mitchell was very, very shrewd with the players he was buying, and this was before the transfer window went berserk. What's happened now is that since Champions League, expectations are so much higher. So people are realising now what's been going on with Enoch. The team now is nowhere near as good as it was 6-7 years ago. Everybody can see that the standards have dropped. Everybody can see, and the older fans like myself, who were used to Spurs going and getting a Gascoigne, an Ardiles, a Klinsmann, a Sheringham, we got terrific players, and we're just not in that market anymore. So the older fans like me can see straight away what's going on. The younger fans who have been taken to near utopia with getting through to Madrid are now seeing a massive drop off. They're seeing money being spent badly, money being spent a lot on deals, wages being cut, never competing for the right players at the right time, even if it costs a few quid more. We've now got a manager who's, God knows, I mean, the fan base was fractured about Levy. It's as fractured about Ange, but people are realising now, with us in mid-table and absolutely nowhere, now 16 going on, this year will be 17 years without a trophy, that it can't go on. Everyone's had enough, and the hardcore at Spurs in the away end are now realising where the fault is finally, and I think this will carry on.
Good.
And Ian, can I address this? Because I've heard this argument before, and Billy hasn't thought of this by himself. This has been planted in his head by other individuals in the YouTube world. Okay, it's fine saying leave you out, but at least have an idea of who you want to come in. Billy, this is stupidity at its finest. It doesn't matter who I want to come in, right? So I want Elon Musk. There you go. I want Elon Musk because everything he touches just turns into excellence in the business world, and the results for the customers come in as well. But what's the point of me saying that if I don't know who wants to buy the club? The only people we know for sure that want to buy Tottenham, only the board know. Only they know that if those people exist. So I could give you a list of, I want this person, that person, that person. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what Ian thinks, Iggy, JP, Lee. It doesn't matter what you think. At the end of the day, the owners will sell who they want to sell to, that they think that's in their best interest. We will have no say in it. But that doesn't mean I can't not want them out, right? If I know I don't like something, I don't have to know what to do next. I'll give you an example. I recently shut down, I got out of my business. I've been doing it for 12 years. I said, I'm done with it. I don't want to do this anymore. I didn't know what to do next, but I knew this had to stop. So I stopped that. So we don't need to know what we want next. We don't even need to give you an idea of what we want next. I want someone, and you guys can tell what you think. I want someone that wants to come here, make their money, treat it like a business, but make football the centerpiece of their ambition. Like what Abramovich did. He was there to win. I want an owner that's there to win, but doesn't neglect the business, because I get it. For them, it's an investment. But what we've seen from Levy, the decisions he's made and the transfers we make and the people he employs to make these decisions, it's been a shit show for 3 decades. I don't want that anymore. I mean, where are you guys at with this? Must we know who's going to take over next?
It's very, very simple. And I echo what you say. All I've ever wanted are owners to want Spurs to be in the game, to be competitive. They are charging us the highest price tickets anywhere, I think, worldwide. Arsenal, I think Arsenal's tickets are higher, but they get more. They get many more games than we do in within the season ticket book. So our average price per ticket is higher than Arsenal's before anybody comes back. We are entitled to see the best people. If you go to a restaurant, you get charged the highest prices. You want the best food. Mm-hmm. You're not going there for mediocrity. He is screwing the fan base. It's only about making ENIC rich. There is no interest in the football. I just want to tell one story. I was not watching my son play cricket in the summer, and there was a local team that had their game rained off, and half their team turned up and they were watching. I got talking to the guy during the tea break, and he'd had a couple to drink, and he had a loose tongue, and he was, who do you support? Tottenham, blah, 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 talking about Levy out. And he said that he puts together deals for people with banks to buy property. And Daniel Levy has been a client of his. And he told me, this is a random guy. I've never met the guy before in my life. And he said that Levy has no interest in football. He said he is making money hand over fist on loads of other business situations, which fine, good luck to the guy. Got no problem with that. But he has no interest in football. Now, Billy, do you want a chairman who has no interest in football, no interest in Tottenham, is only interested in making a profit? This is a football club with a great history and a great tradition. So those are the reasons why every fan should want better owners in. You know, and people turn around and say, oh, you might get worse. Well, no, you might get better. How about having a glass that's half full instead of a glass that's half empty? Haven't we had enough shit for 24 years? This used to be a big club. Okay, we weren't winning league championships, but we were winning cups. We were in for the best players. We had people like Hoddle and Gascoigne, Klinsmann. I mean, it goes on and on. Greaves.
If you look at our history, right, under ENIC and Levy, we should have won 5 trophies. If you look at our history, we've won 1, because we win on average a trophy every 5 years. If you look from 1900, on average, it's 1 every 5 years or 2 every 10, whatever way you want to look at it. So you might have 1 10-year period where you win 4, but then you win none the next 10, and then the next set of 10 years you win 1, and it averages out.
Well, someone threw this at me on Twitter still, and they were going on about Levy, and I said, fine, 1 trophy in the last 24 years. And they said, oh, well, we only got 2 in the 90s. He said, let's look at the previous 24 years. We won 5. And let's look at the previous 24 years before there, and we won 7. And now we've won 1. So we've gone from 7 to 5, which included Sugar, on to 1. You know, we had owners like the Whale family. We had Irving Scholar, who wanted success for Tottenham. Sugar came in, saw Rich Pickings with the Sky situation, did very well out of it. Should have bought Bergkamp instead of saying I don't want Carlos Kickerball. That was the time. That was the point in history where Arsenal went one way and we went the other way. And apart from those 5 or 6 years with Poch and Conte, we have struggled. We've never got above Arsenal. So, guys, let's get real about where we are as a club. This is a football club. You talk about Liverpool. Liverpool don't talk about F1 racetracks and all of this. Concerts, yes.
A skywalk, and
their fans would riot. This was they're all riot. They're all doing concerts. So I went to see Coldplay at the Etihad last year. I'm going to see Billy Joel at Anfield next year. So that's fine. But put the money into the club. Actually be serious. As a chairman, get some bloody fire in your belly and try and be a winner. Don't be a loser at football. He's been a loser for 24 years at football.
Ian, he ain't interested.
He's not interested.
He's not interested in the football side of it. The thing is, when people tell you the truth about your chairman, like you've just been told right now by somebody that you don't even know, when people tell you the truth about people, you need to start listening to them. End of the day, he has shown us, he has told us that he is not interested in on-field success. The only thing he's interested in is what he does off it, making money and using this as a cash cow, and a bigger grand to non-footballing investment and all of that. That's what he's interested in. He has shown us this. He is telling us this. He has told us when he bought the club that this is what he's here for. He told us. We need to believe when people are telling us the truth. He has stuck to his guns. He has succeeded in what he set out to do, and he has made money in areas where he told us he was going to make money. Football and on-field success has never, ever been in the list of his priorities. When someone tells you that, shows you that, you need to start believing them. That's number one. 2, you want to know about your club. You want to know how your club is viewed. Go and speak to the rival fans. They will tell you daily that we are a joke. We are a joke in terms of how we are run. We are a joke in terms of the trophy cabinet, all the jokes and all the memes that you read and see and hear. That is how the fans in the Premier League view Tottenham. Still spoke to a foreign guy who was talking about it the other day. He said, "What team do you support?" Tottenham. What was the first reaction he did? He laughed at his face. Ajax, I think the guy from Ajax. This is what I'm trying to say to you. When people speak, and he laughed. Right. What I'm trying to say is, when people tell you the truth, you need to start listening, and that's where we are. I've got a Gooner colleague at work. It's always Arsenal Tottenham band every day, and he's told me for the last 10 years, or however long, it's 10 years I've known him, but since the stadium's been bought, he goes, "You've got a great big spaceship down the road," because we work down the road from where the spaceship is built. Great big spaceship over there. Great big training ground over there. But where's the success, mate? Where's the trophies going to come for you lot? And this is what Tottenham fans like myself and you guys have to enjoy and listen to by rival fans. Juventus, the club captain, club legendary captain, Juventus, Chiellini, winner everywhere. Everywhere he's gone, he's won. International and club. What did he say about us? This is the history of Tottenham. What did Conte say about us in Southampton? What I'm saying is I'm talking about non-Spurs, people that are not in the Spurs world. You know, Conte was our manager, but in the grand scheme of things, outside, he has told us this is what Tottenham are. This is what we are. So when these guys are telling you and they're speaking the truth, their truth, you need to start listening to them. Listen, Leon, I can see you're swinging on that chair. It hurts, man, to hear that. Believe me when I say it, I hurt when I hear that shit too. But at the end of the day, man, as much as it hurts, you've got to start listening to how your club and your team are viewed by the rest of the world. And that is an utter joke. And this
So-
is what this ownership has reduced us to in football terms. In other things, they can be a success, but at the end of the day, if they don't equal that success there, that we don't mind all the success, but can you please reflect that into our footballing side of it? Then would be, do you know what? Make your money because you are doing your bit on the football field for us. Instead, we are subjected to being a joke to the rest of the world, and that's ultimately what we have become. And what can we do other than just sit here and just take it? What Spurs fans, I'm talking about, what have they been subjected to do? Just sit there and take it year after year, rinse and repeat. This is where we're at, and this is where the anger comes from. This is where when managers come in. They come in, they're not here to succeed because they're not given the time, because we haven't got the patience anymore to give these guys the time, because we know ultimately the owners of the club will let them bleed and die by themselves. This is what we do as a club. We let managers come in and we pay them to do the job, and as soon as the pressure mounts, we pull the plug on them. We don't give them. Nuno, you mentioned Nuno. Is he better than Ange? Nuno was the 7th choice. So already, when someone is not your first choice, he was like our 7th choice before we hired a manager. And then he's come out and said, we're going to make you proud. It was already a joke. That's what that means. Still to this day, makes people laugh. We'll make you proud. And this is what we are, Ian. A joke, man. That's why we will never succeed on the field until the mindset of this club changes, and it ain't going to be happening under this ownership, because they've given us nothing to make us think that we're going to change.
Iggy, there is no
Sorry,
give.
man, run over, but
No. Iggy, there is no give from these owners. Nothing. It's all their way. There's no give towards the football team or the fans. Look at how they treat the fans. Look at how they treat the fans. You know, a pal of mine who. My best football pal, I go to football with, been going to football with him for coming up 40 years. He's been a season ticket for 50 years. They were arguing with him. He came up to pension age, discounts behind the goal. You've got to go behind the goal. Firstly, you should be able to keep your seat if, with a discount. It shouldn't be behind the goal. That's the first thing. Second thing was they then told him he couldn't have the ticket that season. His son tried to ring the club, wrote to the club, emailed the club, phoned the club. Nobody bothered coming back. They only came back when his son went on social media about it. Then he had to wait till the following season to get his ticket. And hey presto, as he gets his ticket, they're then stopping people. If I wanted to move from the West Stand behind the goal, I can't to get a discount. I can move, but without a discount now, because they've stopped it from this season. And my pal's getting 5% off the discount, reduced every year for 5 years. Why? For all the kids that are 17 that are on junior prices that then go on to 18 and are paying full prices, it works that way. It's got to work the other way as well. They don't give a damn about the fans. Return to the Shelf has walked away, I think, from one of them. There's a few of the groups that cannot deal with the club anymore because they're not interacting with them. They just won't.
Ian, when people
let me just do super chat quickly because I wasn't going to miss them out. Listen, everyone in the chat is agreeing with everything that's being said right now.
It's fine.
Amzo says, big up the panel. What's your thoughts on the former AK chairman Cornelius Sirius warning about ENIC in 2000? Did you take his comments seriously around this time? ENIC out, leave out. I think Ian touched on that. We didn't know much about them when they first became the owners. Now we know plenty. Mark Cook, thank you for the super sticker. Bertie Hotspur says, ENIC's success ain't for the fans. Spot on. The Sheriff has been a channel member for 3 months. There's a journalist for the Times newspaper who I think sums it up perfectly. Her name's Alison Rudd. This is what she had to say this week about it all. Ange Postecoglou is a cult leader who is turning Spurs into a parody account. I mean, she puts the blame on Ange, but at the end of the day, even if you do blame Ange, who hired him? Where did these decisions come?
Who hired Munn?
Who hired
Lange? You know, that's accountability. It's
The
at
two
some
things,
point.
just to finish off still, the two things that I just don't understand that for me, I can't get my head around is that you get involved in a business. Football is the greatest sport. It takes people to the highest highs. I mean, I just remember that feeling at Amsterdam when the ball hit the net below us and that gasp before the place just went mental. And it takes you to places, and Levy could have been an iconic chairman, etched in Tottenham history if he would have given a damn. The same goes for Lewis as well. It's not just him. It's not just him. It's
The
Lewis
whole
as
team. Lewis, Enoch, like everyone on the board. Levy's the representative of that. He is the face. Right? When we say Levy,
he says Iggy, they all fall into line. He says something, they fall into line.
There's an agreement. There's a board. There's meeting. Listen, when someone shows you who they are, you need to believe them. And I've done that a long time ago with him. So I know exactly what they are, what they're here to do, and I've always known that. I've never once bought. He's done a lot for the club, but let's be having it right. He's done it for
Personal gain.
Yeah, personal game. It was never been about Tottenham, and I don't mind the level of personal gain if it's also saying, you know what, yeah, he's earned shitloads of money out of the club. Absolutely, you're a businessman. Do it. No one's saying don't do it. No one said don't do the NFL, the go-karting, the concert. I don't say no. So, do you know what? Make the fucking money. If Spurs are away from home, make the money in the stadium or other. Do it. If it's all gain,
the right thing to
do it. But don't neglect what is going on. It's like don't the Pochettino. Where's the furniture? Don't neglect, because that is all it comes down to. And we have spunked money as well on the transfer money for the transfer. We have spent shitloads of money on that, but we have invested so badly, and we have invested instead of buying 3 players. Like I've heard Capello say the other. I was listening to Capello the other day, and he was talking about it in his successes at Real Madrid or Milan before then, and he was saying, I never asked for 5, 6, 7 players a season. I only ever asked for 2, 3 quality players, and then the following season or the following transfer market added another couple and another couple. That is how you build, but also build with potent players, powerful players. So invest in 2 or 3 quality, and that's it. And then you say, do you know what? I'll carry on building that. You don't buy 6s and 7s and 8s, but cheap. And hope that's going to happen. And also the managers, the ideas of when we hire a manager, there's no logic in when we bring a manager in, because first of all, we could never get our first choices. We always get our second or third choice down the line, and then we get rid of one manager and we hire next one. There's no continuation. It's like we have built to play under this manager. Then we go and get a manager who has a different, completely philosophy and way of playing, which now the players that we have just got him, the previous manager, they're no longer suitable for this manager. And by the time the next manager comes, we just finished completing the team for the manager that's just left. And therefore now the next manager there's no continuation. And this is what we do because we don't have any structure. There's no logic. We're on the whim. We just go here, we just go there. It's like somebody who's going on different roads and is going to find a way, the journey that makes the journey, get to the destination, but without having any sort of Google Map structure to how we're going to get there. We're just going to go on a whim. This is how the club is run, and this is why we are an eternal joke to everybody that watches us around the world, not just by the fans that are having to succumb to all of this, but also to the outside world looking in thinking this team are a joke. This is what Alex Ferguson, Roy Keane, lads, it's Tottenham. This is where all this stuff comes from. Spurs. This is where it all comes from. This is what
Iggy, let me go on the back of that and simplify as well. I went to a speech once where I was listening to a director who worked for Richard Branson, and someone asked him in the Q&A about Branson's success, and he said that Branson's involved. He's involved in trains, he's involved in records, he's involved in planes, and he brings in an expert to run that business for him.
He doesn't know anything about it.
He doesn't know the first thing about football, and he'll be the first to admit that. but he's never brought in an expert to run the business. So he makes strategically mistake after mistake after mistake. He brought in Scott Munn, who's a business person, not a football person. Munn gets rid of Gabbianini and brings in Lange, who, don't know, was on his way out from Villa. It is just error after error after error. And in terms of Billy, would I want Chelsea's owners in front of Spurs? Have you seen the players they've got in the team and on the bench? Do you give a damn how much your team spend on bringing in the best players? Because I certainly don't. And Chelsea are never going to go bust. Chelsea won 18 or 19 trophies in 20 years. What I'd give just for 2 or 3 years out of those 18 years that they had under Abramovich.
I've also heard recently, Ian, our medical team are not experienced. We have a lot of youngsters that have just qualified recently from university as medical staff. We are a very inexperienced. We have a lot of inexperienced members in the medical staff, not experienced enough. Yeah,
But they're being reassessed again, aren't they?
So a lot of the guys that we have working on medical staff has probably worked there for their first time or their first
Probably
proper
vets.
job. Yeah, and this is why. Yeah, maybe I don't know, but this is why we have a situation year after year. No, guys, we laugh and we joke, but I'm hearing that a lot of these staff within the medical team are young, inexperienced people. That is probably their first job, and this is why we find ourselves in the situation we do, including with injuries, for example. What I'm trying to say, and this highlights even more so how important the footballing part of it is for this club. It's not the money generator. There are other things bigger at this club happening that generate more money than the football team does, and there's no real. So the thing is, we wouldn't be a million miles away from being a successful team or to bring a level
Where
of
did the
success to
old
this
doctor
club.
go from Spurs?
All creatures great and small.
Well, yeah, probably. Don't you remember?
Dr. Tottenham's still here. Don't worry. He'll show his
No, not
face.
that Dr. Tottenham. Not the one that sorts everyone else out.
What, the one that
like
Mourinho had a go at?
Yes.
He got moved on, didn't he? Was it this summer or just before?
I haven't seen him for ages.
I read somewhere there was a change with
someone needs to tell me about this Mikey Moore situation, because this guy's had a virus for about 6 weeks.
He's got glandular fever, apparently.
So where Ian put his passionate speech out about the Champions League and the feeling that he got, and Levy could have excelled that in any way whatsoever. The only thing I'll say, Ian, is that that's us as fans that have that feeling. That's not the feeling he gets. The feeling that he gets, in terms of the same feelings, would be erecting another hotel, sitting on top of that stadium when he goes to the stadium, sitting there on his throne almost. They're the bits that excite him, not winning at football.
No,
but he's never denied that. He's never denied who he was. He's never denied what he's here for, and he's never denied us what he's all about. So why are we not listening?
Why don't people care about it?
Why I agree, JP. This is the bit. This is what bores my piss. I don't understand it. This is what I'm trying to get at. If someone's showing you, is telling you, and is delivering exactly what he said he was going to do, and he has never given you an ounce of belief that there's any kind of importance to what's going on the field, because he shows no interest in it other than being at every game. I don't know why he goes to even watch the games. To be honest with you, I don't know why he's there watching the games.
He goes there to sit on his throne.
So I don't get it. I don't understand it.
I built this stadium.
I don't even get angry with him anymore, because he has shown me who he is, and I believe him. So why are people not believing what he's showing you? Why people not believing?
Guys,
that's why I say to Stell, the fans will do nothing if Ange gets the sack.
Do you know what? Why are the fans watch other clubs' fans celebrate year after year after year? Do they not want some of that? Do they look at it and think, oh, that's okay, let City celebrate again, or Liverpool, or Chelsea, or United. I mean, United got rid of Ten Hag. You won 2 cups. We won 2 cups in 30.
Ian, I told you
years.
our fans are to blame. They have accepted.
It's unbelievable.
I'm being told it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But even the journey's become shit now. Even the journey has become shit. So what destination do I want to go to when the journey's not even the ride to get? Not even say, do you know what? Don't worry about the final destination. Enjoy the journey. Try and enjoy the ride. I'm not even enjoying that anymore.
You didn't buy a Tom. You bought a
What's
Tim
the point? Even when the rides become shit, then you think, why you even care about the destination anymore? The ride is shit. So I'm like, guys, I don't know what more. More I can possibly say on this subject. I don't know, man.
Because there's only 15 minutes left. Let's move the journey on. Right, let's continue on our journey. We've got a game on Thursday. Listen, we've spoken so much about Ilic and Levy. We could do a 24-hour stream on this. We do it every show.
But it's the same stuff. But it's the same stuff that we go on. So
until the other channels, until the fan base wakes up and takes action, we'll keep talking about it. There is a protest planned, but before we talk about it, we want to see if we can speak with the guy behind it and put a video or show together specifically on that.
I've sent you something on WhatsApp, by the way. I have had a response. You can read it later.
Oh, I'll have a look at it in a minute. So I just want to talk about quickly, just for 10, 15 minutes, Carabao Cup on Thursday. Now, as far as I'm understanding, Man United don't really have any injuries. I know Mason Mount went off injured early on. There seems to be some issues with Rashford and Garnacho, more disciplinary than what they are medical. But Spurs, we go into this game with no Van der Ven, no Romero, possibly no Dogi, we don't know. No Bentancur, Basuma's back. Maddison's suspended. We now know about that. Johnson, I don't know if he's fully fit or not, but he came on towards the end of the game against Southampton, so he's probably ready. Solanke's all right. Werner's all right. Hey! And Kulu. So we go into this game probably with more injuries than Man United, but we go into it with a bit of confidence because we won a game 5-0. But Man United, there was a lot of camaraderie at the end of the Man City win. When they scored that second goal, they were all piling. It seemed like something clicked. Again, I don't know. We'll find out on Thursday. We've got home advantage. I think this is going to be a game very similar to Roma. End-to-end, Wild West. Just a straight old-fashioned shootout. Good luck predicting it. I'm just going to say Spurs edge it only because of home advantage. But if we lose it, I won't be surprised at all. Amorim's a good manager. Man United have got a bit of belief back. And we go into this game with quite a few injuries. So will the board care if we lose? No. Will we? Yes, because it's a cup. What do you guys think of it, guys? Spurs versus Man United. It's a big game for us as fans. We want to win a trophy. This might be the best chance we've got because if we win this, we're in the semis.
I'll go first. For me, to give any sense and purpose of this season, for me, we have to remain in these cups for as long as possible. Yeah. And Thursday is no different. For me, is absolutely imperative that we stay in. And you're right, the home advantage, we have to use that to the max. I think Man United, I think Amorim will do well. I think if he can sort out the internal issues that they've got at the club, within the team I'm talking about, they can certainly finish the season better than what they started at. I think that win at Man City, that's a massive comment. I know Man City are not the greatest team in the world right now, and they're not winning at their ground at the moment. It's becoming incredibly normal right now. But you know, a cup game is a cup game, and you're right. I think it's going to be open. I think there's going to be goals in that game. And like I said, for me, it's so important. For me personally, it's so important. I'd rather, if someone said to me, "Get through this round and lose two Premier League games," I'll take that. I really would, because for me, it gives a sense to our season. I think if we go out of these cups right now, it's going to be a long ass season to just watch us in the Premier League. So Spurs, for me, this is the best opportunity that we have to even entertain the idea of bringing a trophy home.
I think I said 3 lives for Ange. That's one of his lives. It's a must-win game. It is a must-win game. When we played Man United up there, didn't we play them without Van der Ven?
Man United, we played with Van der Ven.
No. Van der Ven went for that run, didn't he? Remember?
that
when
Oh,
made
he
the run.
scored.
He set up
Van
a
der
goal.
Ven set up Johnson, didn't he?
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he intercepted, went into that run and put across. The...
We just have to take whatever rest we can from Sunday. The fact that we won 5-0 should give them some of those players a little bit of boost. Whoever gets picked, I think you want to see folks like Jed Spence play because he brought that energy, as it were. But again, it's like another game where we're going into the game not really confident, right? We don't know what kind of Spurs is going to come up. Again, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Hopefully, we lost a couple in a row, so hopefully now we hope for like 2 wins on a bounce or something. But I think it'll be tight. I don't know if it'll be that many goals. It could be like one of those basketball games again, but I think extra time, and I would like to think
No extra time, JP. Apparently goes straight to penalties after 90 minutes. Yeah, straight to pens.
Pens then.
That's why it's going to be an open game.
It's going to be Roma all over again. It's going to be. Yeah. I think it's going to be that type of game where it's my God.
Yeah, I mean, I can't call it. It's we're in very, very similar situations this season, aren't we? Both teams. Any other week where we've just beaten Southampton 5-0 and then we're going into the game, you say that we were going to go and this is really positive, but then they've just beat their biggest rivals, Man City. So you've got to expect that they're going to be just as positive, if not more than us. The only real thing that I would say is that I watched that Manchester derby, and to be fair, both teams didn't really play that well. It was derby, the young boy took his chance at the end there. That was all him. So props to him. But that's what worries me, is that he's going to be on fire. He is on fire at the moment, and he's going to be up for it. And I worry that our defence is going to be a bit nervy. I think theirs will be as well. We know what Maguire's got mistakes in him. We know their goalkeepers all over the place at the moment. I think on the balance of things, this is going to be a seesaw game, like Iggy said, and it's just going to go either way. I really, really don't know how to call it. We need someone on Thursday to step up and take that game. And usually you would say, who's the standout player or who's the one that makes the biggest impression if you're looking at a United game, and that's Fernandes, right? Now, if he turns up and he bosses the midfield, we could be in trouble. But if Maddison turns up and he runs the game, it could go our way. So
Madison's
it really is.
Madison's suspended, though, isn't he? I
don't know if that's true or not, because
I'm trying to look it up, guys.
When he got the yellow cards yesterday, they always usually say, "Oh, he's going to miss the next game. He's going to miss the cup game." And no one said anything.
Someone in the chat confirm if Maddison is suspended for the Manchester United game. I can't seem to find anything online, but I'm very, very quickly just scrolling to see if I can find anything. I can't.
I don't think he is, but
can someone just confirm in the chat, guys? Let us know.
This is a prime. Listen, quarterfinals of the cup. Yeah, quarterfinals of the cup. Both teams are going to be up for it. Someone in our squad has got to step up to the plate and take hold of that game. If they do and boss the midfield, I think we can win it. But again, it's one of those situations. Whoever turns up on the night, that's the issue that we've got at the moment. So we'll see. I will be on the phone to my old man who's a Man United supporter.
Okay, the guys say Maddison isn't suspended for.
Maddison has had 3 yellow cards in the Premier League this season.
Well,
he is available to play. That's
5 yellow cards, isn't it?
Yeah, 5. Yeah,
but hold on. Has he picked up any yellows in previous Carabao Cup rounds?
Don't think so.
Well, it's total yellows. It's not just the league.
I haven't seen anything. I can't find anything to say that he's suspended for the Man United game.
I don't think he is, I don't think he is. I think someone just put it in there just to wind up again.
Probably.
That's good
Was
to
it
know.
double D?
Yeah, it's weird that he picks up so many yellows as well. Like, for some reason.
Yeah, but see, Madison's one. Do you know what? That's one of his biggest issues, Madison. A lot of his yellows, if you look at the couple of
Stupid.
dissent, stupid dissent. He's been given this, and he does it as well when the likes of Son and that's on the pitch. I know he's been given this role as a captain or whatever, but he's got to learn that while Son's on the pitch, keep your mouth closed, stop moaning, stop crying like a baby because you're going to get yellows, and that's what happens. So I think the first couple of his yellows were like that.
The yellow cards for dissent for me, they drive me nuts. They always have done. Especially one I can forgive. It can happen every now and again, but to pick up 2-3 yellow cards,
he pulled a guy back into the Southampton game, didn't he? For no reason.
He got yellow.
He's got 4 yellow cards in all comps, which means he can play. But if he gets a yellow against United, he's suspended for Liverpool.
Yeah,
oh, great.
Yeah, so
Thursday's game is more important than Sunday's.
As a fan, as a fan,
100%.
As a football fan.
Yeah.
100%.
For me,
if
like I said,
the league game.
I'll take a qualification of the round against Man United, a qualification into the next round, and lose the next couple of games.
We're not going to win the league.
Going through. Yeah, but for me, like I said, any purpose for the season has to be for Spurs to carry on in the cups. If we go out, I don't know how much interest I can possibly have in just.
It's kind of season done, isn't it? It's just like flatline.
We can't be out because we've got the FA Cup in January, and you know that can you want to go through this Christmas run and start to 2025 in Europa. You want to still be in Europa, of course. I think we'll be there. You want to be in the FA Cup, which we will, and we want to carry on this. We want to be through the next round.
Quad is still on.
It's massively important. I think it's massively important. It's more important than people realise that we remain in the cup for as long as possible.
I agree, Iggy, but I still think Liverpool's just as important because when you look at it on the face of it by Sunday night, if fixtures go the right way, we could be 13th in the league.
I'm not saying that Sunday or whatever we're playing them, it's Saturday, whatever, it's not important. I'm not saying the Liverpool game isn't important, but for me right now, the cup has to be this first. This game against United is massive. And then after that, depending on the outcome of that game, will be very telling how we go into that Liverpool game. And of course, we can't lose any more bodies. If we start losing even more players, like I said, we've lost only Porro's the only original player that plays at the back now. At 5 positions, only he's left.
Lee, does it make any difference if we're 13th or 10th or 9th? But we're in the semi-finals of the League Cup.
Because I get what you're saying, and I get it's not, but the way that we've been so inconsistent and up and down, if we lose to Liverpool and then we get some other games where we're playing lower league teams, like, we've got Wolves coming up soon, I think, as well, haven't we?
Yeah,
and another team that's on the down, we could lose to them. No one can really gauge it at the moment. So I think it's just as important because you slip to 13th, then West Ham have a good week and we lose again. Now we're 15th. How far down this league do we have to go before we say the league's over? The league might be over. I get that. I get the league's over, but it doesn't take just as much as people are saying.
What do you guys mean by that? The league is over.
Some people in the chat are saying we don't care about the Liverpool game. The league's over this year. We're not winning anything in the league. The league's done, which I get. I understand that, but we
was never going to win it, even if.
I know. Hold on, I haven't finished yet. But just as much as people are saying, yeah, we might only be 5 points off the top 4, we're also not that far from. Being really near the bottom of the club. It's very compressed. So we have to see both. You have to balance the view and see it. So I don't know.
No, but if we go past it into the next round, we've got a run of games. Then we can start focusing on the league. Is what I'm trying to say. We have got a run of games, and it would just be solely leagued games. But I feel like you can really focus on that, knowing if you've qualified to the next round. I think it's one thing, and if you've got to go through these league games, knowing that you've just exited the Carabao Cup, for me, it's just different. It's the complete.
Yeah, no, I agree. The Carabao Cup has got to be the focus. 100%. I get that. because that's a potential, and I'm not going to say we can win it because there's other teams in there that are just as got as much right as we have to win this competition, and they've got better performances than us this season. But we have to focus and think that is something potentially we can win if we play it right, you know. But there's still 6 teams in there that are much better than.
What's everyone's quick prediction? Lee, what's your prediction?
I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a bit of a seesaw game. Because we're at home, not that that's mattered much this season. I reckon it'll be 2-1.
To who? Spurs?
To Spurs. Yeah,
2-1
I'm hoping.
Ian?
Same. 2-1 Spurs.
2-1 Spurs. In the chat, they're going 3-1 and 2-1 to United. There's 1-3 draw. 5-0 to Spurs.
3-3s.
Iggy, what about you?
I think it's going to be 2-2. I think the game's going to end 2-2 and it's going to go to penalties, and then God help us.
And then Lord Forster, rise. Rise, my man.
Do you know what? I've been really impressed with him.
Having goal. Nah, for penalties, Iggy's shit.
I'm not saying for a penalty shooter. I just think he's done really well since he's come in, and I've been one of his worst critics.
He's been our best player.
Yeah, in quite a few games. So I'm hoping that he, if it does go all the way, I'm hoping it comes through for us on penalties. But yeah, if bloody hell does, I just got a feel it's going to end 2-2. The game that is, and then penalties we'll see.
JP?
3-1 Spurs.
3-1 Spurs. I'm going to go
confidently.
Are you all there? Are you guys going?
No.
Yeah.
You're there, Ian, yeah?
Yeah.
Ian's going. I'm going 2-1 Spurs. Just because we've got home advantage. But I am worried about Dragusin, great centre back against a team that can attack. I am worried about that.
He is our best defender. Still, he's just an out-and-out defender. I'm very comfortable with
if we play Ange ball, Amorim tactically will drop United and just look for the transition and pick us off. You mean he's
gonna adjust to the opposition?
Basically, yeah. And do you know what? I don't think Spurs, the way we set up, it suits us playing against 3 at the back. I don't think that's a good thing for us.
We've struggled against teams that play with 3 at the back.
Iggy, after that Rangers game, after the Rangers game, they spoke to their captain, and he said, we watched a couple of videos. We saw the faces there.
We have struggled against teams that play 3 at the back this season. Any teams that we've come up against, and I the only concerns I have is what I said earlier on against Liverpool, United are that team as well. Is when the fullbacks are high, those spaces into the channels, they've got players that can hurt us. Even without Garnacho and Rashford, they got players in those areas that can hurt us. I'm just hoping that I just hope Ange sees that. I'm hoping I'm going on a whim. I'm hoping that Ange does the similar sort of sets us up, knowing that he's playing United and Liverpool. I think it's a perfect opportunity for him to just tweak it a little bit the same way he did against Man City. I don't know. We'll see. I don't see it, but we'll see.
We're back on Thursday. Post-match.
What's your prediction, still?
2-1.
I've gone 2-1 Spurs. Only just. But again, my prediction's been nothing nowadays.
It's hard to predict Tottenham this season. It's very, very difficult.
Thursday. Spurs v Man United will be live after the show, about half an hour after the game. Come and join us. Thank you to the following: Amzo, Mark Cook, Bertie Hotspur, and the Sheriff for your super chats and being channel members. And let's see what happens.
Everyone in the chat that's commented tonight and the ones that even without commenting and viewed.
And I want to say big up to Swifty.
Love to every single one.
Swifty's been amazing as always.
Big up Swifty.
Listen, always big up to Mark Swift, mate. Every single time.
Coach Swifty.
Coach Swifty.
The lights are for you, man.
I know. Do you know what? I've seen a lot of old names tonight in the chat, but I've seen a lot of new names as well. So welcome. If this is your first time, I hope you enjoyed it, and keep. Make sure. Again, I say it to everyone. Activate the notification bell because it gives you every time we upload a video or we go live, you'll get the notification straight on your phone to lock it in. Sometimes we even do improv streams. Still does it quite a lot.
Emergency podcast.
Emergency podcast. And just make sure when you subscribe to activate the bell. I know you hear this all the time, but activate it because it does. It pops up on your feed whenever we go live or upload a video.
And leave you out, Enoch out, everyone out. And on that note,
Every day.
we're out as well. Have a good one.
Well done.
Yeah.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.